Today's theme is relationship dynamics. And we're going to be exploring what it really takes to stand the test of time. Now, relationships are rarely undone by romance alone. They are tested in life's most uncertain moments: job loss, mental health battles, grief, or chronic illness, just to name a few. These moments demand more than just space or support. They often require a partner who can truly suffer well with you. But is that a fair expectation? How do we build those kinds of bonds? To explore this, we're joined by two incredible guests. First up, we have Mona Monyane, an actress, a speaker, and a holistic healing advocate. Her journey of public vulnerability, her journey that was publicly vulnerable, from personal loss to public transformation, has made her a voice for emotional authenticity in relationships. And then we are joined as well by Julian Hoss, who is a practicing psychologist and a couples therapist known for helping partners reconnect and realign. And Julian is no stranger to the show, and she is broadcasting live from Germany. I'll start with Mona. Good evening to you, Mona. Welcome to Heartlines.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for that as well. Oh my goodness. Wow. It's interesting to hear how you were spoken about. Interesting. Thank you. That's a beautiful way of describing me. Thank you.
You're most welcome, ma'am. I think your story is one that inspires me, more especially the recent reels you've been posting on Instagram, right? Where I feel like you're talking to me personally, Mona, when you say it's the 15th of June. Okay? And then you get into it, and then you remind us that, listen, him saying that he loves you doesn't mean it. Let's talk about the inspiration for those kinds of videos. Do you extract this from personal experience? What's the context?
I think maybe the biggest thing I need to clarify is that my reels of I'm coming to fetch you, show me, have nothing to do with, or rather, I wouldn't say nothing to do, but they're not specifically aimed at my marriage, right? I just had the unfortunate experience of repeating the same cycle over and over again. So I'm very knowledgeable about toxic commitments. I'm very knowledgeable. I've gone through a series of very serious relationships that ended in the same way. So I think maybe sometimes when I post, people might think I'm speaking about one individual. I'm not. And I think that's the biggest thing that I'm trying to say to women is that if you cannot identify the red flags initially, you will repeat the same choices that lead you to experience the same pain. So I'm speaking about various people, however, because, my marriage was very well known, maybe some people think I'm only referencing that individual. And I'm not. I'm just letting them know that that particular individual was, for me, the last straw. And I then learned how to start prioritizing myself. It's a journey. It's not a destination, but I'm still doing it. I'm doing my best. So I think maybe that's the biggest thing I need to clarify. But yeah, that's what's happening.
Toxic commitments. That's a very, very, very touchy subject, right? Mm-hmm. And I want to just gauge you on that. Why do you think we find ourselves there repeatedly?
To be completely honest, unhealed trauma. We want to be saved, but we are never the ones who save ourselves. And that's why we end up in trauma. And I've experienced the kind of trauma that forced me to realize no one is going to come I need to show up for myself. And that also led me to be more faithful, more spiritually sound, more emotionally and mentally, I don't know, profound to a certain extent. Like, I show up for myself. I fight for myself now. I'm this person that speaks to God, speaks to my ancestors, speaks to a higher being outside of my flesh, because I'm no longer asking other people who are occupying the same flesh to save me. Because what we don't understand is that everyone is going through something. Everyone. It's not just you, everyone. So when you ask someone to save you, do you know what they're going through? You don't. And I had to learn to show up for myself. And what that looks like most days is just praying. It's not even like I do. No, it's just me weeping and praying. And what I've come to understand is spirituality is not a myth, it is real. God is so real. Because there have been days where I've just cried and prayed. And I didn't call anyone, I didn't message anyone, I didn't do anything, I didn't go anywhere. And my prayers were answered through someone else calling me, through someone else coming to me, through someone else showing up for me. So we serve a living God if you choose to serve. And that's what I've learned, that's what I've learned. And I'm not saying that I don't still get angry, upset when I feel like someone hurt me.
Yeah.
But I just have a different way. And I haven't perfected it. I'm not perfect. I'm very still flawed. I'm very flawed. Please understand that about me. I mean, she's a human being. But I trust God enough to keep asking him first, to keep praying first before I just say, let me do something about it. So now I'm at the point where I go, let me pray about it, go to sleep, and then tomorrow you'll see what happens.
Mona, what you said is really interesting, because you, and I paraphrase here, you said that no one is coming to save you. You cannot expect those who inhabit the world as you do to come and save you. Yet this conversation that we're having is about suffering well. And so I want to dig a bit deeper into that context and just that understanding, right? You've walked through the most unimaginable kinds of grief, from losing a child to a house fire to a divorce, to the relationships that you even spoke about where there was toxic commitments made. Did having a partner, and I suppose in the times where the relationship was stable, did having a partner going through these particular trials make things easier in any way?
There's no such thing as suffering well.
Sure. Okay.
Ever. Suffering is not something anyone should experience. And how you navigate it should never be on it as something of, oh, you did that so great. I get told that a lot. I can't even believe you went through that. You carry it so well. I don't. I carry nothing well. I carry everything painfully. And the person that God assigned for me to suffer with has his own journey. And yes, subjectively, do I want a certain outcome? Absolutely. Did I want a certain? Yes. But it's not for me to want. Pain is pain is pain. And we are not, we're not birthed the same way. And we are not given the same ability to handle, overcome, and be. We just are not. So I think it's important for everybody to understand that, guys, as much as you want to be able to go through something with someone, sometimes you can't. And then you have to ask yourself, am I matching the energy or am I helping myself? So I can only speak for myself. And what for me happened is I'm still on the journey. There are days that are great. There are days that are horrifying. And what I also saw at the time was that this individual was able to navigate when I couldn't. Or this individual couldn't navigate when I could. So it's not for me to speak for them. It's for me to speak for myself. And I think that's the biggest thing for me. I want to encourage everyone to understand that your healing journey is yours. I took ownership of mine. I am doing everything I can. I fail more times than I succeed, but I keep going. I keep going. And that's all I have. There's no glory in pain, sis. There's none. It's horrible. We go through pain so much and we want to be so angry. We yell at God. I've yelled at God. I've felt abandoned by God. I have screamed. I've shouted. I've harmed myself. I've done so many things in pain and agony. But I've also done so many things of fighting for the light. So one thing I've learned is that choice is ours. Free will truly was given to us. And you cannot dictate to another person how they must use their free will. You cannot do that. It's not fair. It's not fair and it is unkind because you don't know what someone's internal system is. You don't know. So what I've learned today as I speak to you is I'm grateful that God allowed me to fight for myself. And I'm grateful that God hears the prayers I have for my partner. And I say my partner because we raised this baby, or rather, we have a child together. And it is not my job to demonize them. It is not my job to judge their healing journey. I do not have that authority. And it is not fair for me to be that person. I have the feelings I have, but essentially, it is not for me to judge. It is not. The kind of pain that sometimes we go through, until you've gone through it, you have no idea what you would do. We lost beautiful babies. It was very hard. We went through a lot. So just because my healing journey led me to this moment and their healing journey led them to their moment, doesn't mean that I get to say, this is good or this is bad or this is what it's such a delicate thing. I don't want to lie to you. It's a very difficult topic to discuss because honestly speaking, until you've walked those footsteps in that sand, honey, you're You have no idea what that feels like and what that looks like, and you have no idea how you will overcome. So I think in the greater scheme of this discussion, kindness, kindness. Own yourself, own your journey. I've owned my journey. I've owned myself. I fought for myself and I continue to do so. But don't judge how someone else heals. You have no idea their capacity. You have no idea what their conversation is with self, with God, if they believe in a God, with their support system. You just have no idea. So I think that's the biggest thing that sometimes we forget. We don't have the same support systems, guys.
Yeah.
We really just don't. And some people are going through the most, and then they go through the most, going through the most, you know? So I'm grateful. I'm so grateful to my support system. I'm grateful to the God that I serve for helping me. But it is very important for me to say, this is not my enemy. This is the father of my children. And I will always respect them. I will always respect them for giving me the greatest joy I've ever known, and that is motherhood. So I'm trying to answer you, but I need you to understand that I have to answer you from my heart.
Yeah.
And my heart says that I'm so grateful that I serve a God who is so kind. And I'm grateful that my God has helped me. And I pray for the healing and salvation of everyone else and the God they serve. That's all I can say about that. I hope I answered you. I'm so sorry.
Yes,
I
you
have
did.
to,
Yes, you
I have to be
did.
very respectful. I don't. I
The voice
what's
of Mona Monyane joining us, actress, speaker, holistic healing advocate. Her journey of public vulnerability from personal loss to public transformation has made her a voice of emotional authenticity and relationships. And this is why we are talking to her about the realities, or perhaps the preconceived view of suffering well. Send through your questions +27 6340 69126. You know, Mona, as you were speaking, you touched on kindness, the importance of kindness, the expression of kindness altogether. Do you think we afford ourselves kindness? And could kindness perhaps be the cure to people remaining connected? And I say this in the context of giving the next person grace, affording them an opportunity to go through their journey without having to disconnect from them.
You know what's interesting is that we used to have the saying, "Muthu ke muthu ka batho." Do you understand? As Africans, South Africans specifically, Ubuntu was the one thing that the whole world took note of, because many people will travel to this country and go, these are the kindest people I've ever met. They say hello to you, they help you, they do this, they do that. So what I've also understood as an actress, as a public figure, as a producer, as a director, we are emulating the West in every aspect, which means that we are also forgetting our humanity. Kindness is not just for the people that you date. It's not just for your family. It's for everyone you meet. It's your community. Yes, we need to be kind. Because so many people will say, I want this, but what do you give? What do you give? that makes you deserving to receive. And I grew up with my grandparents, grandmothers, grandfathers. I was that little baby girl that hung out with the old people, okay? And the old people gave me the tea, honey. They gave me the juice, the spice, and
Yes,
the
ma'am.
aroma. And those were my peeps. They bounced out too soon for a sister, but they left me with wisdom. And wisdom is that mutho ke mutho ka ba bang. Mutho ke mutho ka ba bang. So be kind to others. Be kind to others, not just the people you sleep with, not the people you have, not just the people you have babies with, everyone. If that becomes the way in which you live your life, you will see the benefits of that. So it's a larger conversation. It's a larger I've seen it, I've been it, where you're nice to your person and your own family, and then you're not nice to anyone else. Doesn't serve you. Karma is the bee that doesn't forget your address. She never forgets. She comes with a stiletto heel to his friend, the face beat. Do you understand?
It's the face beat for me.
She's gorgeous at the time.
Yes.
She will come gorgeous.
Yeah.
To punish you for your ways. So I think I'm growing. I won't lie to you. Like, if we had this interview maybe 5 years ago, or maybe even 5 months ago, I could have answered you differently. But what I'm learning from now is that be who you are. Don't be who you are to get something. Don't be who you are only for a reason. Just be a good person. Be kind. Be loving. Not everybody is going to reciprocate, but those who do, oh my goodness, wow, it's amazing.
Sure.
It's amazing. So it's kind of like maybe Sanga's value, based on quantity. What are you saying to me? There's like king, but value, but quantity ring.
King quality over quantity.
Yes, that thing that they say. So I'm a whole being. I'm a lot. I'm really a lot. But God has taught me to truly value, some teachings that are universal and some teachings that are true, because I've seen it. I've seen it in others. And I keep learning. But kindness towards yourself is the most important thing. And that's my struggle. I'm struggling to forgive myself because I feel like I knew better and I should have done better. And that's what I'm struggling with. I'm struggling with saying, skis. There's a part of me that's just like, skis forward.
Sure.
Idiot.
Wow.
Stupid.
Mona,
Stupid.
you do have a few questions coming in this evening. Alunga Nhlapo saying, how do I get over toxicity? I'm so used to it, or I got to the point where I'm so used to it, it has become something normal to me, and that doesn't feel right. There is that first question and a few more, so if you could be brief in your response.
My baby, say sorry to yourself and listen to yourself. Be honest with yourself and protect yourself. I'm sorry. Because you're used to toxicity because you know toxicity. That's all you know. Surrender to the unknown. I'm sorry you had to go through that. But say sorry to yourself and then say, Let's be brave enough to go into the unknown. I will also ask you this. I don't know if she's spiritual, but pray, pray, and ask God to show you the way. He does. Talk to Jesus as well, Jim. That one is not asleep. He works. But at some point, you need to say to yourself, am I worth my own love? And then give it to yourself.
Shoo.
Otherwise, usatlo sokola, my dear. Utlo sokola until forever. But if you cannot love yourself, I want you to know no one will love you. No one will love you. If you cannot love yourself, no one will love you. So you will continue to feel this until you sit down with yourself and say, you are worthy of my love, self. And then give it to yourself the way you give it to others.
Mona, the next question as I hold on to my chest because wow. In actual fact, this is a statement that says, look, I have deep hatred for my dad, and he died when I was 9. I'm sad that I miss someone that I hate.
Why? I have so many questions to ask. That is painful. I feel like I can't answer that because I would need context to know where the hatred comes from. Let me assume that if the hatred comes from them dying, if it comes from, Dad, you left me, I, as a spiritual person, will say that never leaves. His vessel was done, but his spirit is still with you. But I don't know. I don't know how to answer that well, because I would have to understand where the hatred comes from. I would have to understand. I can't answer that one fully.
Yeah.
But if it comes from grief alone, then know that no one ever truly dies.
The next statement from Nolo saying, how do we demonstrate the kindness when the door has been closed and you can't reach them anymore?
Who?
I suppose somebody who you may be wronged is how I'm gauging the context.
No.
How do you demonstrate kindness?
Closed, leave it closed. Why are you trying to open doors that were closed to you?
Because we must show kindness. Maybe you want to rectify your wrong. Maybe that's the context.
Why? A person closes a door to you for a reason. Okay? Let it be closed. If they want to open it again, they will. Give them the respect of opening a door to you that they closed. It's not your job to be forceful. Consent, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be a rapist. Don't be a rapist. If somebody says to you, I don't want you in my life anymore, don't force them. Okay? It's okay. It may hurt, but respect their wishes. If they want you back in your life or in their life or whatever, okay, sharp. But in that moment, if somebody says to you, I no longer want you in my life, let them. I will never condone a lack of consent. I can't do that. People are allowed to say no, and no is a full sentence.
And lastly, some statements coming in. Tisetso saying, Mona, your story is a powerful one. Another statement coming here from Palisa Mahlasela saying, hi, beautiful Mona. I followed you from the live. I had to Google. And I can see that there was a level of intention there. And then I want to end off with this statement by Nolo that says, pain is tailor-made, or rather pain really is custom-made. What's your take on that?
Self-harm is custom-made. Pain is a part of life. In the beginning, there was darkness. God never said to us, we were birthed into a world of light. What he said is, He spoke light unto the darkness. Pain is not your default. Rebuke that spirit. Rebuke it with all of you. Pain is not your default. It is not. The world is darkness. You are the light. Shine bright and live. That's what I will say to that. Shine bright and live. No, 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 no. I rebuke it completely. Pain is not our portion. None of us. It is the life that we live, but it is not what the God we serve said would be our portion. Assign your portion correctly, and never ever in your life allow yourself to receive darkness. Never. Light was spoken.
Yeah.
Live and shine.
Mona, thank you so much for joining us this evening. This has been beautiful. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for being vulnerable with us, but also thank you for giving us those wise words of wisdom.
Thank you for this moment. It's way past my bedtime. But
you take care and sleep tight, ma'am.
So beautiful. This was so amazing. God bless you, Queen, and continue to just shine and continue to, allow people like myself to have a platform to remind everyone that God is alive and well. Okay, they can go, just pray, kneel and pray to Him. It's free, even, and He answers us. So I'm here because of the grace of God, and I serve Him with all of my soul. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all He's done for me, just like this interview. Hallelujah.
Come on, amen, ma'am.
Glory be to God, honey, because He did that. And that's our husband. I'm the first wife, but the rest of you, my sister.
Oh, wow. The voice of Mona Monyane joining us this evening, actress, speaker, director, producer, and holistic healing advocate. Of course, she shared with us her very vulnerable story, but also revealing to us the strength that came from this process of healing. 5 minutes after 11 p.m. Central African time, twofold conversation. The question is about suffering well, and the context is romantic relationships.